When encountering domestic creatures in your home, what is your initial reaction? Do you view them as mere insects and reptiles, or potential agents of darkness? Let's explore this narrative and discover how it can broaden our spiritual understanding, revealing that some creatures may hold symbolic significance in the realm of the demonic. Once upon a time, in the beautiful, magnificent city of Port Harcourt, there lived a man named Osas in his late 60s. Osas was known to be a very influential man who worked with a large perfumery company. He was married to a stunning and beautiful woman named Annabelle. They had 5 children together. Annabelle was the backbone and support behind Osas' wealth. She would often encourage him through the tough times when they struggled to make ends meet. In those days, Annabelle would often go out to beg for food or apply for jobs, only to be rejected despite her impressive credentials, perfect results, and high degree. Yet, her love for Osas kept going. She would tell him to stay strong, assuring him that better days were ahead. One day, while they were in their sitting room, Mrs. Sweetie, a lady Annabelle frequently approached for help, called her with a business proposal. Mrs. Sweetie wanted to partner with Annabelle in a perfume distribution deal worth millions of naira. She told Annabelle that she'd like her to manage her perfume store in Port Harcourt, and she told her that they would share the profits 50-50. Mrs. Sweetie's motivation was to help Annabelle escape the cycle of begging, and she wanted Annabelle to start as soon as possible. When Annabelle heard this, she was overjoyed and quickly accepted the offer, promising not to disappoint Mrs. Sweetie. She shared the news with Osas and they both celebrated. They danced, thanking God for finally answering their prayers. However, that night, Osas suggested to Annabelle that he would like to take over the business deal, that Annabelle should focus on taking care of the children at home. Without a second thought, Annabelle agreed. But she was concerned about Mrs. Sweetie's potential reaction, so she called Mrs. Sweetie to discuss the changes. And to her relief, Mrs. Sweetie agreed, stating that as long as they worked together as team, it wouldn't be a problem. The next day, Osas visited the store, which was a beautiful perfumery called Sweet Attractive Perfume. The store exuded wealth, with perfumes displayed attractively, enticing even passers-by to spend the last money on them. The perfumes were expensive, but Osas didn't mind the costs. He was only thrilled to see the magnificent glass store filled with perfumes, and he boasted to himself,
"Yes, I'm rich now."
He proudly referred to himself as the manager of Sweet Attractive Perfumes. Years passed, and Osas became incredibly wealthy. He was generating substantial profits through perfume distribution. The store attracted a large customer base, and his family lived a life of luxury. His children had everything they desired, traveling the world and enjoying their life to the fullest. However, Annabelle's joy began to wane as Osas frequently returned home late at night with flimsy excuses. Despite her growing unease, Annabelle trusted Osas until one fateful night, Osas woke her up with a stern expression, revealing that he wanted to take a second wife, whom he had already impregnated. He callously told Annabelle that if she wasn't pleased, she could leave. Annabelle was devastated, her eyes wide with shock, her mouth trembling, and her heart racing. Annabelle's world crumbled. She immediately started begging Osas, clinging to his trouser, pleading with him not to marry another woman. She reminded him of their shared experiences and the journey they had undertaken together. However, Osas showed no empathy, smiling wickedly and kicking her aside. That night, Annabelle prayed fervently, hoping it was all a nightmare. The next morning, when she woke up, reality hit her like a ton of bricks. Osas brought his new wife, Amina, home, instructing Annabelle to move to the guest room. Annabelle, overcome with shock, grief, sorrow, anger and sadness, packed her belongings. While packing, she cried and told Osas that she could not stand the shame and embarrassment he had brought upon her. But Osas turned a deaf ear to her. Osas and his new wife were doubled over in laughter, obviously anticipating Annabelle's departure to the guest room. However, contrary to their expectations, Annabelle called her children to bid them farewell, revealing that she will return for them one day. The children cried in an attempt to prevent their mother from leaving, but she had already made an irreversible decision, and Annabelle left the house, leaving her children behind. As time passed, Amina proved to be kind to Annabelle's children. She would often shower them with gifts. She would always make their best meal for them. She adopts a lenient approach, choosing not to scold them, even in instances of misconduct. She was always there to give them the best advice. As time went on, there wasn't much news about Annabelle. The children would often canvass every town in the city, desperate to find their mother, Annabelle. But she was nowhere to be found. Not even Annabelle's parents knew her whereabouts. Years passed, and Henry, the eldest son of Annabelle and Osas, collapsed suddenly upon returning from a job interview. As soon as people saw him, they rushed him to the hospital, where he was confirmed dead. Even the doctor was unable to determine the cause of Henry's death. The news devastated Osas, Amina, and the other children. They mourned him with profound sorrow. The atmosphere in the house was heavy with grief. A year later, tragedy struck again when Marvelous, the second son of Annabelle and Osas, fell and died in the same tragic circumstances as his older brother Henry, just as he was preparing for his traditional wedding. Once again, tragedy struck the house. The same pattern followed, claiming the lives of two more children. Years passed, and Osas was left with only one son. His name was Blessed. He was a devoted Christian who was in his early 30s. He was also a banker who was married to a beautiful woman. He would always attend all his church services. He would often pray fervently, committing his mother's well-being into God's hand and also everyone around him. One day, a stranger approached Blessed during church program, warning him about a demonic operation targeting his family. The stranger emphasized that Blessed was the only one who could break the curse by prayers, or else he will be the next victim. That night, Blessed and his wife prayed intensely, seeking God's revelation about the attack and asking for protection. They told God to reveal where the attack was coming from and that it should be exposed. That night, they slept peacefully. The next morning, Blessed's phone rang. It was his father's wife, Amina, who was calling him. Blessed picked the call without hesitation because, despite Amina being the reason their mother left the house, she had always been very supportive of them. Blessed jokingly answered and said,
Auntie Amina, you remembered me today, huh? Hope there is goodies for me, oh.
He expected Amina to reply with her usual calm and captivating laughter, but instead, she sounded shaky, like someone with a high fever, and she started saying,
Blessed, forgive me. I'm trying to call your father, but his number is not available. I want him to hear what I have to say too. But I will start by telling you, I have been the one killing all your siblings. I am an agent in the coven of witchcraft. Hey, I came into your father's life to destroy his home. I saw that he was a promiscuous man, so I used his weakness against him and manipulated him to hit his wife, your mother, which gave me access to destroy you all, one after the other.
And Amina continued saying,
In the middle of the night, today, our queen mother in the coven will be coming to visit you. You are the next to be sacrificed to our kingdom. But last night, your prayers were so heavy that an angel started flogging me to confess, or else he will flog me till I ran mad.
She went on to say that They will be coming in form of cockroaches to Bletchley's home through their toilets. She said that the first cockroach leading the way would be her, followed by the queen mother, and other witches in form of cockroaches would be behind her. And she continued by saying,
Please spare the first cockroach, which is me, and kill the others. Don't sleep at midnight, please, because that is when I and them will be visiting.
Amina further explained that this was how his other siblings were killed. Whenever the cockroach visited them during their sleep, they would die the next day, because the sacrifice was always successful due to the other siblings not being prayerful. Hello everyone, I'd like to take a little moment of your time to express my gratitude for watching. If you'd like to stay updated on more engaging stories, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing to this channel. Click on the notification bell down below to receive alerts for new content. Thank you for your support. Blessed was shocked and disbelieving. He immediately called his father, who was at the perfumery company, and told him everything he had heard. Osas was equally shocked and scared, and his memory began to return. He remembered his beautiful wife, Annabelle. Overwhelmed, Osas shed tears and was too scared to return home. After work, he lodged in a hotel, reflecting on his life and how he hadn't met his sales targets since marrying Amina. He thought about how she had told him about miscarrying the baby she claimed she was pregnant with years ago, and how she had never been able to bear him children. He regretted his actions towards Annabelle and felt that God could turn back the hands of time so he could erase this memory. At Blessed's home, Blessed told his wife everything during the evening when she returned from her business. When Blessed's wife heard this, she was furious and angry. She recalled how Amina never liked her and how Amina would often tell Blessed not to marry her before their marriage. At night, Blessed and his wife prayed together and anointed their house. They stayed awake praying till midnight. At about 2 a.m., Amina, along with her coven witches, appeared in Blessed's toilet.